What's going on, everybody? Brandon Holmes here, one half of the College Game Time YouTube channel, a place for the fans, by the fans, dropping fresh college sports content nonstop. So make sure you hit that subscribe button right here below. Follow us on all our social media handles. We love interacting with you guys. Thank you for the support as we cover the college national landscape. All right, big news, guys. Big news. It's transfer portal season. It's died down a little bit, but it's transfer portal season, and I expect there to be a couple more guys announcing they're going to the transfer portal or trying to find other homes before spring ball, whether it's because of a coaching change, they realize that they're not going to line up with their philosophy, maybe the new coach brought in somebody else, maybe they need a change of scenery, but it's transfer portal season, and we have some big news for one of the best guys in the transfer portal right now, Mr. Ochoen Mathis, out of TCU, edge guy, 6'5", 257 pounds, had a nice year at TCU last year, 30 solo tackles, 4 sacks, good production coming into his junior year. This would be his junior year coming up this year. Now, he released interest of his top 5 schools, and I'm going to read them here. USC, University of Texas, Ole Miss, Penn State, Nebraska. All right, so listen. I'm going to give why I feel like he can fit at 4 of those 5 schools. I don't really care too much about Penn State, but I'll give you a little caveat with them on the end. Here's why I think the other 4 schools can be in play. Texas, here's why. You have the Patterson-TCU connection. It's the coach he committed to. It's the coach he's familiar with. It's the coach as early as just last season he was playing for, who understands him. It's the kid that he probably has some like allegiance to. And guarantee if Texas is looking at him, it's because Patterson gave him the stamp of approval of this is a kid that you should go get. This is a kid that is familiar with the Big 12 landscape. This is a kid who was productive for his last year. This is a kid, and we got to be honest about Texas, had some defensive deficiencies last year that cost him some games. Well, this is a kid that's put up some productive numbers that you would love to have on your side of on your team, on your sideline. So I can really see him going down to Austin. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump, a couple-hour drive already from Fort Worth. And Sarkisian has done a great job in the transfer portal this offseason, and he's also trying to build a fence around Texas, not just with these high school recruits, but with some of these other proven talents that are leaving some of these other Texas institutions. So I can see him landing there based upon his former head coach being down there, and there is a lot of hype going on in Austin. Now, another place I see that he can fit is the University of Southern California, USC Trojans. Here why. The defensive coordinator, Grinch, out there at USC is all about Speedy. My co-host, Trey Smith, who's the other half of College Game Time, did a video about this yesterday, about an edge rusher coming from UCLA that USC might be targeting, and he really highlighted this whole Speedy perspective that Grinch is all about out there at USC. They want to wreak havoc. They want to be fast. They want to be physical. They want to be confusing. They want to create chaos, and I believe Mathis could be a part of that. Gives you some experience, a guy that's playing some big-time games that can also help. They just brought in the number 1 overall recruit last year at USC that also plays defensive end. This could be somewhat of a mentorship, but also somebody that can provide some production of what Lincoln Riley's trying to do. I mean, and Lincoln Riley also got a close-up view of this guy at TCU last year. They played in the same conference, so I'm guaranteeing if he's going after them, it's because he saw something in them. And if you don't remember, which like I do, TCU and OU had a very close game last year, and I believe Mathis had a really big part of what was going on there. Now, Nebraska. I cover Nebraska a lot, and I think Nebraska potentially has a shot up here. Nebraska, I think, in my personal opinion, has had the greatest offseason in the transfer portal. They have loaded up with talent. This is why I think this is really big. One, Nebraska does need some D linemen. This guy gives you some experience. This guy gives you some production. And I believe, here's the thing. I believe Nebraska is getting ready to try to tap back into this Texas pipeline that they've kind of lost when they left the Big 12 for the Big 10. Mickey Joseph, now that he's come over from LSU, has been probably the greatest impact of this team over the offseason. He has brought in big-time talent. Every big fish that they've tried to reel in recruiting-wise, he has been involved in. And it would not surprise me if they send the man himself to go try to lock down Mathis to get them some edge help. I've said it all offseason. I believe Nebraska is just a few key pieces away from really challenging the Big Ten West and possibly representing them in the Big Ten championship game. And I'm telling you, if they can get some edge help to kind of replace some of the production that they're going to lose, you get a guy that's experienced, you get a guy that's been a starter, you get a guy that's going to come in and make impact right away. I can see Nebraska really going all gas, no brakes, not to take away from Sarkisian, on trying to land Mathis. Now, another program that I believe is Ole Miss. Now, people say, how could this be? Well, Kiffin already got his buddy Evans, who was one of the best running back recruits at TCU, to come to Ole Miss. Now, the defensive coordinator thing is still up in the air, but I am very familiar with Partridge, who serves on that defensive staff because he coached at Michigan. The dude is a beast. He served up under DJ Durkin. He knows how to call a good defense. He is rising up the ranks as one of the best coaches to watch out for. And I believe every kid, I'm not going to deny it, who doesn't want to go to the best conference. And I believe the SEC is, as far as probably football, arguably we're going to say is the best football conference there is in college football. What kid doesn't want to test that? What kid doesn't want to go to the best of the best? What kid doesn't want to, who has NFL aspirations, wants to show, I can go to the SEC, I can ball out against the Bamas, the Georgias, the Floridas, the Tennessees, the Mississippi States, to show that they can hold their own, and it would not be shocking there. And last but not least, I know I wasn't going to cover them, but Penn State. Listen, Franklin just signed a big-time contract there. Franklin, despite having an off year this year and the year before in the COVID year, is still a phenomenal recruiter. Is still doing great things at Penn State. Penn State, yes, they had a little off year the last two seasons, but it wouldn't shock me if they got back into that 9-10 win or competing for the Big Ten championship. I always say if they didn't lose Sean Clifford in the middle of the year, their season might have turned out a little bit different. So it wouldn't shock me, man. Franklin's an A-plus recruiter. This might be a guy that he's swooping up in. And potentially, as Franklin saw up close what Aiden Hutchinson and David Ajabo did off the edge last year to his team, probably saying, let me try to load up, because as we know, pass rushers and edge rushers are premiums in football these days. They're one of the most important positions on the field. And if you can get a guy that's giving you good production, that has experience, that could come in and go right away, why not? So I think, personally, in my opinion, I could see him landing somewhere between Texas and Nebraska. Those would be my top two picks, but I'm interested to see where he lands. Once again, Brendan Holmes here, one half of the College Game Time YouTube channel. Until next time, peace.